Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, everybody who's watching this. I'm Anita. I'm here at BKC-IH Moscow, and today I'm here with Edward Evans, who is in charge of this fantastic event. Right?
Thank you.
So, Edward, for those ones who don't know you, what do you actually do here? I'm taking interviews, and you.
Right, yes. So I'm the Director of Studies at BKC for the schools, and I'm also in charge of the programme for this conference.
Just the programme?
Yes.
Just the programme or the programme?
Well, the programme, yes. There are bits and pieces around that, but the programme was the main thing. Obviously, I'm dealing with the speakers, dealing with the moderators, all of those people.
Right, so, and this is what I mean. This is your.
Yes,
yeah,
I've got it here just in case to remind myself about it. So we got together 20 speakers from different areas. Some of them from academia, some of them from publishing, but many of them are trainers and some of them are teachers who are very knowledgeable and are going to be sharing their expertise with us at the conference.
Amazing. And this is not even A4 paper, right? It's something.
No, it was yes. The text was so small I had to print it out big. Yeah.
Is it the first time you're organising a conference?
Yes, it is. Yes, so it was a very daunting task. It's turned out that no part of it is extremely difficult, but the difficulty comes, I think, with just the number of things you have to remember, the number of things you have to get ready, the number of people you have to get doing the same thing at the same time.
Why are they doing the same thing at the same time?
Working in harmony, shall we say, that's the complicated part, yes.
Right, definitely. And this is what you call daunting, yeah?
Yes, so it's logistical.
When we just attend conferences, we don't really know what work is done behind you. So could you please share, for example, this event is rather special. I think it's the first time you're doing a hybrid conference as well.
Yes, so in the past, it wasn't me organising them in the past, they were offline conferences, that's to say in-person conferences in a conference hall.
I remember.
Anita was there. And this year, because of the pandemic situation and so on, we've decided to run it as a hybrid conference. Hybrid meaning there will be in-person participants, but we will also have people joining online, and any participant can watch any of the talks. So again, 8 of the talks will be offline, 12 of the talks will be online, but anybody can attend any of them.
I'm not sure how it works.
So there are 5 parallel strands, I suppose you could call them. 2 of them, at any one time, 2 of the talks will be offline in a hall, in a conference centre, and 3 of them will be online. Our online participants can basically switch between any of them at any time, like switching TV channels, and our offline participants, they can go to any of the offline ones, or indeed they can log in to watch the online ones as well.
Basically, I can attend offline, have my mobile phone with me, sit in the cafeteria all the time, chilling with and watch all the talks.
As an extra sort of bonus, there is going to be one extra room where one of the online talks will be broadcast on a screen as well. So you have a choice of the offline talks, that streamed one, or if you really want to see one of the others, then yes, you can do exactly what you say. Log into your device and log in there. Yes,
yeah, that sounds amazing, but sounds like a lot of work, hell of a lot of work.
Well, it has been a lot of work, but luckily not for me. So what I've said is I've been in charge of the programme, so I've been finding these people. But the really complicated technical task has been falling either to the other people on the organisation team, so from our teacher training department, from marketing and so on. But also we've got professional partners who are working on the conference. So we've got a group called Campus who are sorting out the online platform, and another group who are going to be filming the offline sessions such that they can be broadcast through the platform. I imagine not many people are going to want to come to the conference centre just to sit on their phone, so if there are any of those sessions that they want to watch afterwards, then all of the sessions will be recorded, and all of the participants will be able to watch those as well. So that's 20 sessions plus the plenary session as well. So, yeah.
It sounds like it's 2 conferences basically happening at the same time.
Well,
why?
Okay. Well, in terms of organisation, that is what it feels like. I mean, we are trying to make it so that it feels like a coherent whole. That's to say, our online participants can watch the offline talks and hopefully can participate in them as well through chat and through the moderator and so on. It was a very ambitious thing to try. Our thought was that, well, some people are going to find it difficult to travel, and some people are going to not want to travel, perhaps for safety reasons. So that was one of the reasons why we wanted to do it. But also it opens up a whole new audience of people who could attend virtually, and also of people who can speak for us also virtually. When we had to drag everybody to Moscow, it did in some ways limit the range of people that we could invite.
True.
But this really does open up a whole new set of.
You're so optimistic about things. Usually your conference happens in February, right? And this time you skipped February, but you're doing it in the end of April. Yeah, it's
That's
like
right.
yeah. So when did you realize you will be having the conference, and why did you change the dates?
Well, the reasons are really just about the pandemic, I suppose. Since last March, of course, we've been just everything the company's been changing. We were concentrating on a lot of things. So the teacher training department, I only work there sometimes. I am a CELTA trainer, but I only work there sometimes. But they were dealing with the online CELTAs that they've been running, and I think they've been running some sort of half online, half offline as well. I was dealing with the school, getting people working online and so on and so forth. It was all a bit crazy, and the time to start a conference for February is, before September, and we were not ready to do it. So, but nonetheless, it seemed a great pity not to have one this year, having had two very successful ones before. So I think we decided around November, December that we were going to have one, and April seemed like a good time to do it because it's before the summer when everybody's busy doing other things, after the winter. When we're often quite busy running classes and everything else, so it seemed like a good time to do it.
Yeah, I see. Why do conferences, like it would be a weird question, but why do conferences exist? What are they for, do you think?
Well, it's I think that teachers very often, obviously very much depending on their context, but very often are working in a relatively isolated way, and I would even include teachers who work in schools. Once you're in the classroom, you're by yourself, even if you might share a staff room or something. So conferences are a really great way to find out things which are outside of your current context, to collaborate with other people from other places, to get new ideas, and to get new inspiration. Right? I think for some people, there's going to be an element of monotony in just teaching the same classes week in, week out, and it's just a really nice way to get some more energy, to get some more inspiration. Also, it's a way, our conference topic is sort of emerging trends, challenges, opportunities, so it's a way to find out the way that the industry is moving, the way other people have dealt with the challenges that maybe you've dealt with, the way the opportunities other people are taking and might be available to you as well, but it's just a way to find out about those things as well. So I think that's why we have conferences. And
when do you attend a conference? Do you attend any conferences?
Sometimes. Yes. So I've attended some of the IH conferences as well. I was planning to attend some more this year, but of course that didn't really work out. What was your question? So
how do you choose a talk to go to? Obviously with your conference you'll have everything recorded, but we all know that people tend to get the recordings and probably never watch them again. So, basically, when I attend I try to attend as much as possible. And I hardly ever watch anything recorded. So, how do you choose talks to go to? So, because I think you'll be having different talks at the same time, because you said you have 5 strands. So
yes.
Not speaking about your conference, because you can't give away your favorite speakers, right? It won't be fair. But how do you choose a talk to attend?
Sometimes I'm tempted by the sort of prestige of the speaker. So if it's somebody I've heard of, I might be tempted to go to that talk. Although sometimes if the talk isn't about something that is directly relevant to me, then it doesn't really matter how prestigious the speaker is. It's going to be less interesting. I think I would pick things which I would consider relevant to what I'm doing. Of course, I do teach in a very sort of general. I have a very general range of interests, shall we say. I have to teach all classes, all types of classes, exam classes, business classes, all of those things.
Yeah.
But things which catch my eye tend to be things that are relevant to things which I teach, particular particular challenges which I've encountered and would want to find new ways.
So you do read the...
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yes, definitely.
I see, because not everybody does. But you're the one reading all the abstracts.
Well, I have to, because occasionally, as I say, I've been to some of the prestigious speakers' talks and they haven't been directly relevant. And I've thought, well, I probably could have spent that time going to see something else, even though I was sharing the same room with somebody really famous. I mean, it's in the end, it's more important to find something that's really relevant.
So it's about the topic, what they were
Definitely.
talking about, right? And like now, like switching hats and. When planning the program, so I know that now with online, actually, I mean, like I just had my first conference ever, and it's not something I'd recommend anybody to do. But I mean, and I think there is like a trend to have like local conferences. What would be your advice to those, organizing their conference? How to approach, like, okay, I want a conference. How do I structure my program?
So you've got to divide the big task into small tasks, and the way we approached that was by saying, well, let's decide on strands. So we've got 4 strands, one of which is like a double strand, so sort of 5 strands, I suppose. 5 parallel sessions, 4 strands. So the strands for us were VYL and YL, business and academic. Language, exam preparation classes, and then we've got a more general strand that we labelled advanced methodology, but it is a general strand basically. And then you need to decide who are you going to draw speakers from. So we decided that, obviously we made the decision early on that we were going to have half of each strand will be online, half of it will be offline. Well, that immediately places restrictions on who you can invite. So in the offline speakers, they tended to be people who were connected to BKC, who've maybe been trainers for us, or who are ADOSs for us, or things like that, or our people that we know well, shall we say. So Anka was actually in charge of the VYL and YL strand, and she is very well connected in the sort of Moscow and Russia teaching community, so she knew people that she could invite, some of whom I think are also in your association as well. So Elena Savinavska, people like that. I think she's in your group as well, isn't she?
She's my friend mostly.
Exactly, yeah. So people who've been teacher trainers with us, so people like Anna Kasheva, Tanya Polovinkina, again, Heather Belgorodova, you know all these people.
Yeah, I met them last year, exactly, doing this interview.
And they are... so for the offline speakers, we had a well-defined pool of people that we could invite there. We decided for every strand we would try to get one sponsored speaker. So we've actually managed that with several of our sponsors. So
what does it mean? Maybe a sponsored speaker. What does it mean?
It means that they will represent their sponsor. So I can give an example. Delta Publishing. This was a real coup, I would say, for us. This was something we were trying very hard to get. Is going to send somebody who works as an author for them. She's a researcher. She's an academic researcher, but she's also an author. Sandy Morale, who has published. I think she wrote the Discover with Dex series for Macmillan, and also, but for Delta, she wrote a methodology book on teaching VWL. So. There was no way that we would have been able to get her without that. We don't have the resources. That's what it boils down to. It is a case of money, unfortunately, so we don't have the resources to be able to do that. But we were able to, whether we have the prestige, I think we probably had sufficient prestige, but it was a case of money. Getting a sponsor means that you can draw from a pool of more prestigious, more well-known speakers who could well be one of the reasons why people would be drawn in. Our people who've been working as trainers with BKC, people like Olga Connolly, they of course have their own draw, who people who've seen them talk before, but even somebody who hasn't seen Sandy might have heard of her if they work in.
If I don't work with kids, I think
if they work in that sphere, then it's going to be somebody who's going to draw people in. So that's really great. I was considering people as well as people who I knew would be good speakers, because I know lots of people who would be excellent speakers, but also people who would perhaps attract an audience who who hadn't seen them speak before.
Right, so it's a bit of marketing in the program.
Certainly, can't deny it. No.
So, I mean, at school you're so open about it.
But I have to say, I was really happy that we found people who were really good speakers, but also had a bit of cachet around them as well. And certainly the people who have worked with BKC, I mean, they're all excellent speakers as well, and they have their own fan clubs who I hopefully will be drawn in as well. So really very happy with the mixture of people we had at the end.
Right. So basically, when like from this other side, you're thinking of like speakers and talks, but also you're thinking about what kind of people they might attract.
Definitely,
right.
yes.
Okay.
I think it has to be.
Yeah, has to be
considered.
Yeah.
There's no point in having an excellent program that people are not going to be interested in, which will be a great pity.
Thank you really for being so open. So I just want to have a look because it's quite a lot these pages. And how many times did you shuffle the program? Well,
I was very lucky that I didn't have to shuffle it so very much. It did kind of fall into place at the end. So obviously there were people we were able to get very quickly, and a few that took a bit more time and effort. Like I said, Sandy Morale was a bit of a coup. I was keeping an open space in the program for her till the very last minute, and we were able to slot her in. But as I was implying before, you divide the task up into strands. The strands go down here,
sure.
And you're just filling in slots after that. So it turns the daunting task into something attainable. Had to fill in the offline and online slots, and it did all fall into place quite nicely at the end. I was very lucky that I didn't have to.
Is this like more of your approach, or it's like somebody told you that this should be done this way, or because like this is a very logical and very structured? They just
the strands. I was part of agreeing to those, but those were to some extent decided by our committee. I love working with tables. It sounds very banal, but if I can reduce the task to a table that needs filling in, then that means I can understand the task. Whereas I suppose another way would be you start contacting people, everybody you can, and then you have a big task of arranging them into a timetable. But I started with the timetable from the start, and that really did help. And we were never panicking at any point, so that was great.
As I can see, there's this little note. It's in bold and it's underlined. Time cannot change.
Well, yes. So
it's like our motto.
To an extent, you can accommodate everybody's wishes with the time, and if
it's about the speaker, it's their requests, right? Or is it about the
speaker's request? Yes. So of course, some of them are very, very busy people. Somebody I know is doing 2 conferences that day. We're just one of the two. So you've got to accommodate them as much as you can. I think if everybody had made a demand on the time, that would have been a real headache. But 4 or 5 people, we can accommodate those. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I see. So it's about now it's about the speaker. So you started with the tracks because this was something that you agreed as a team, and then you decided offline or online, and this kind of made it a bit easier because it was easier to find. Like, well, you'll be looking for
half of each strand.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 of the strands. Half of each of those strands is online, half is offline.
I see.
Some of our speakers who are sort of internal, our Cambridge department really wanted some specific talks to happen. So of course I was actually able to say I want the talk to be about this. You can't really make those demands of people from outside, but from inside we did basically say that. But that gave us some more flexibility.
I see. while you're being so open, I'm going to ask you the final question. So the conference is in like three days. Is there anything that's not finished yet and you're worried about this?
The part that worries me most, shall we say, is the technical part of the hybrid section.
Yeah.
And perhaps we've got moderators, so we've got several people who've very kindly volunteered to act as moderators. And that worries me because there are lots of things which I can just step in and do if I have to, but there's no way I can do all of those things on the day. So that worries me just a little bit. It's a slightly grey area. Some of the things that we agreed with the technical staff are only becoming clear now. So just small things, nothing disastrous yet, touch wood, okay? But yeah, just those things, not very interesting things, but they could become critical things on the day. So there's that.
So, but if the conference were offline, there would be nothing to worry about.
Nothing obvious to worry about, no. It's the not obvious things, of course, that the most worrying, I suppose. It's the unknown, isn't it? But nothing very, very worrying. I've been very lucky because I've been in charge of the program. That is not the most complicated part. This hybrid online-offline interface is the really daunting part.
I should be interviewing somebody else, right? Who does the more difficult bit of the job.
That's the really complicated part. But we've actually hired the experts in. So I've got to trust the experts.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you hire them, you trust them. I think you're going to be fine. I'm pretty sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for answering my questions. Maybe there is something else you wanted to say and I didn't ask you about.
No, I don't think so. I hope everybody enjoys it. I hope everybody finds it not only enjoyable but inspirational and educational. And yes, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really very happy with the programme that we put together.
Cool. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.